Well, hi there everyone, and welcome back to Planet 19. Where what has been happening? Well, let's first of all head on down here, down into the quarry areas and what now is the mob trap area. Because, as some of you I'm sure noticed, I made a complete muck-up of this. Because some crazy fool forgot that these things, the grinders, if I can click on it from up here, which I don't think that I can. Oh, there is a way up, is there? These things don't take range upgrades, so I can't make one cover this whole room. Now that's a slight problem. You can see I've boxed it in as well because mobs were standing on the thing. It's not a big problem actually, because all I will have to do is make another grinder to sit here and another grinder to sit over here, and it will cover a big area anyway. Each grinder covers a 5x5 area, which is what I've marked out with these dirt blocks. So it's covering that sort of area anyway. One either side, and I'll cover an entire half the room, which will be fine to start off with. If I come up here, you can see this thing has actually worked. I've got a few skeletons, a few creepers, a zombie or two. So it is working, just not very well. Over on this side, the quarry, let's just run over to it, straight into a wall with my face. The quarry's over here, don't fall down that hole please. That's working, it's not dug up too much of interest yet, it's dug up a load of iron which I might nab. But apart from that, nothing too exciting. Let's head on back up to the factory, which is up here, up here. It's not night or anything, is it? Good. Right, if we come along and around here, you can see the bit more of the roof's been done on that. You can also see a bit more of this path's been done. I've put the path into both the doors now, and I've tidied up all that horrible cobblestone, which I used to cover over things. Also, you can see there's a lot more of this wall done. If we head on up here, you can probably tell that I have actually put most of this tower in now. It's the most part of the way up. Now this tower is rather built into a hill, which is a touch annoying. What I think I'm going to do with this side of the tower is actually have two floors. I'm going to have a floor about where I'm standing here, which is about where the top of the hill is. So put an entire floor around this level, and have another floor down there on ground level, I guess. And stairs leading up to the two. It'll give me a bit more space in this tower because I don't need to grow trees or anything tall in here. And let's quickly head off to bed. Just for the evening before all the mobs spawn. So I'm stuck in here again. So this place is pretty much mob proof now, apart from spiders which will drop in off the ceiling, so that's good. So what is the plan for today? Well, the plan for today is Mystcraft. I've not played with Mystcraft yet, but it should be a lot of fun, and I'm intending to do it down here. I think I mentioned last episode this will become the Mystcraft room. Let's just put a few bits in whilst we are down here. Let's just fail to put a few bits in whilst we are down here. So there we go, a Mystcraft room. I'll make it look a bit more mystical later on. So what do we need for Mystcraft? Well, we need to get out of that hole for a start. The Mystcraft is actually really quite easy to get into. The things you really need are an ink mixer, smooth stone and a glass bottle, and a bookbinder, wooden planks and a bit of iron. Now I do have some iron to chuck into this, so that can work along happily. Right, bit of smooth stone, bit of iron. Actually, I probably have a few blocks in here, do I? Save me mucking about. And also a load of jungle wood. Oh, there's some chests in there. I shall grab those. And that should be just about everything I need, I think. Let's do it in here. So we are going to need glass bottles, which I hope I have forgotten how to make, haven't I? Glass bottles are made with glass rather than panes. So we have no great shortage of glass because I have been cooking up tons for making things with. So you get 3 each time. I'll just make 6, say. So a glass bottle surrounded by stone, was it? Have I done the wrong one? 2 wooden planks. Like that we'll get our ink mixer. Jungle wood planks, I have forgotten. That way round, with some iron on the top, is going to make us a bookbinder. Whilst I'm here, I'm also going to quickly knock together a crafting table into a crafting station to have downstairs in that room. Let's chuck unwanted things back into the system. Temporarily. Right. So the Mystcraft room is going to be down here. Full of mysteriousness is... Right, I'm thinking a crafting station and... chest just here for working with. And these things can probably go on this side. The ink mixer. That's a chest. I could use a chest there probably anyway. An ink mixer and a book binder. So now we just need to get these things going. To make the ink, we are going to need paper, which is easy. We're going to need, not to make the ink, we're not going to need paper, but we are going to need a lot of paper for this. Fortunately, I have made up 42. That will go into this one, just down here. We also need to get some ink. Now, ink is made up from the glass bottles, which I have apparently left somewhere. In my inventory, of course. And we are also going to need some ink. Now, ink is obviously ink sacks, which come from squid. Now, I do have quite a few of these. However, I did want to put one on a sheep, really, so... Ooh, am I only going to actually be able to make a couple of inks? Have I forgotten how to make these? It's a water bottle. Of course it is. Now, have I got as far as making... I really ought to make an infinite water source somewhere close. Even though I do live, it's right here, isn't it? Right by the sea. Should really have a pond or something just outside the front door which I could use. So there we go, 1 ink vial, 2 ink vials. Now I can't remember just how many pages I'm going to get out of an ink vial, but I guess we are soon going to find out. I also, well done me, need a bit of leather. Leather is used to make the actual books. So where is my leather? I have a load of it in here because, of course, leather can be made from rotten flesh, which makes it so easy to get. That is such a useful addition to the game. So the leather is going to go click between everything in here. The ink vials are going to go into... not the ink vials. The ink vials are going to go into there. I'm going to get a link panel. It's going to be 1 per one of these, clearly. That is unfortunate. Okay, I can take a piece of leather, combine it with my link panel, and I'm going to get an unlinked link book. That is a book which will link me somewhere. If I click right here, right-click it, it is now a linked link book, and I can use this linked link book to get back home at any time. Now the only problem is, well, what I'll also do, if I put a link panel in here, I can make a descriptive book. The descriptive book describes the age, so this one is going to tell me the world. This one will bring me back home again. That's why it says one-way ticket. Right, I would like a book stand to put these things on. It is just that, is it? So, some junglewood planks will get me sticks. and some sticks and jungle wood is going to get me a pair of book stands. It's probably good to get a stack or so of book stands. A stack or so, well, at least 8, say. Now, I just had a load in my hand. Have I chucked them on the floor? I have. I was thinking my book stands can just go around here, something like this. There we go. I'm now going to put my descriptive book for age 16 into there. Okay, now one thing I could really use is a bit more ink. So if you'll just excuse me for a second, I'm going to go and bop a squid or two on its head. Okay, so I've managed to get a few squid. I don't think there's any more out there particularly. I've got another 7 ink sacks, which is something. And yes, these sheep have finally stopped being shorn. So I can colour one up black, which should eventually give me an infinite supply of black ink. If we look in here, I have made 2 stacks of white wool, which is superb. Do I have any other dyes in here? Just whilst I'm here, I do have blue. I might just as well colour something blue whilst I'm here. Any flowers? Oh, I've got some roses. I can make some red dye. I can have a red sheep. How lovely. Do I have any wheat? I'm getting distracted, of course, but it is very useful to get these things going. 1 piece of wheat. I need 2 pieces of wheat. Never mind. Black sheep. Blue sheep. Red sheep. So now I should be able to start to get all sorts of dyes in infinite amounts, which is good. So let's zoom on back to the factory and back down to the Mystcraft world, because it is actually getting a little bit dark. And we should be reasonably safe down here. So all I'm going to do is just make up my ink vials. I need some water, don't I? Okay, I do need an infinite water supply down here, I have decided. Buckets. Do I only have 1 bucket these days? I need a 2nd bucket. So you might have to excuse me just momentarily whilst I quickly go and make an infinite water source downstairs. Okay, so got a bit of water, and I've made me an infinite water source. That's perfect. I've just noticed that I managed to pick up a squid trophy from Open Blocks. Isn't that something? I've never seen a squid one, actually. Pretty awesome. Don't know why I keep opening the chest first, because it just is there. Can I not shift click? No problem then. The only thing I really want to do is create 1 more link panel. And the reason I want to do that is to create 1 more linking book back here. Because I always like a backup linking book. It makes me feel safe. And the reason, in case you didn't know, is that if you don't have a route back with your link panel, you can get stuck in an age, which is really, really, really bad. Right, do I have everything that I want to go through with? I think so. I should probably just feed myself up. And let's go and explore a new age. And hope nothing goes terribly wrong. Okay, black screen, interesting sky, and I have landed. What have I landed in? A mushroom biome. Ooh, it's raining and it's night. And there's unhappy endermen. And there's interesting balls of something up there. Do I have any... Always bring building blocks with you to these ages. I've got some jungle wood, that'll do. So, this looks very interesting. What Y level am I at? I'm at 68. And it looks like there is... What sort of... I am in an orchard biome. With mushrooms. Ooh, is that... And there's copper there. A berry bush. Several berry bushes, that's interesting. portobello, wheatgrass. But what I'm interested in is that's a huge drop. Now it's raining, it does seem to be eternal night, and there do seem to be a lot of mobs about. But actually, for a first world, it depends. If this thing sort of drops off the edge of a cliff, it's going to be pretty bad. And just on the off chance it does drop off the edge of a cliff, I've got some ender plant seeds somehow. I'm going to pop down that. I'm actually going to cover it over, because I can't remember if water hurts Mystcraft books. It might do. And pop one of my linking books here. I'm also going to set up a waypoint. Just there, because I'm going to go off and explore a little bit. Now I do have my extra linking book on me, but I'm a bit concerned this is one of those worlds which sort of drops off the edge of a cliff. It does have plenty of ores in it, but I've got this horrible feeling that I might get shot straight off the edge of a huge drop. If there is no ground down there, I don't want to be hanging close to the edge if there's skeletons about. Yep, that's just a drop. I'm on a little island thing, which is absolutely no good to anybody. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. What's that? Clover from Biomes of Plenty? I don't know what any of these things are. Can I pick that up? I can. I don't know if any of these give you, like, dyes or anything, if they're worth anything. Because I don't know the Biomes of Plenty stuff that well. Shrub from Biomes of Plenty. There's plenty of the giant mushrooms, so if I ever needed to get mushrooms, that would be fine. But I think this is a good time to exit out, because that is not a world which I wanted. So that just means I'm going to have to make up some more worlds. I've got 2 more ink vials, which is going to get me 2 more pages, one of which is going to get turned into a new book, and the other of which is going to get turned into a new linking book. Just like that. So let's give number 17 a try. Clearly somebody has been trying this before me, because I'm up to 17. Now what I'm looking for is a world which is good to put a quarry in, so one with a solid base and not too many mobs ideally. So let's see what we get. I'm going to just spend a bit of time probably exploring worlds until I find a nice one. Obviously the worlds are completely random. This loads really quickly actually. Now this one looks interesting. Again, it is Eternal Night. That's a very heavily armoured zombie. It is night, it is raining. That is sand. I'm on a Y level of 69, so I am quite high up. This one might not be too bad just to dump a quarry in. Obviously the rain is horrible annoying, as are the mobs. But let's just... what's this? Is this oil? Oh, there's an oil well right next to me. Propulsion plants. Let's just quickly dig down just a little with a shovel. And just check that there's stone down here. So I think this actually has a normal spawn. It might be thundering up there, which would be a bit annoying. Okay, there's coal, so I think... I don't particularly know why I'm going around the coal, but I think that this then... beehives, yes. Magnetite from Reactorcraft. So this does generate ores. It's a normal overworld, this map. Which is what I wanted. The only thing which I'm not so happy with is the number of mobs about, but I think I can probably live with that, if I'm entirely honest. It has some very interesting trees as well, and let's get the heck out of here. What I'm going to do is build up just a little bit of a base, because this might well be the one that I use, at least for now. There are a lot of mobs though, so that is a tiny bit off-putting. It's a pain to work with all these mobs about. Oh, and I do not want to die here. If you do not mind, I might have to just hop straight out of here and leave a linking book behind. So this world is very hostile indeed. Zip. Okay, so 17 is a possibility. So you can see exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend a bit of time finding my ideal world to quarry in. And let's eat up a little bit because I'm hungry. So let's just finish off with the very last thing that I'm going to do today, because I've said for a while that I'm going to improve on my battle axe. Click. And I think that is a pretty good thing to actually do right now. So, because it is just about morning. Are there any squid about? I cannot see any. So if we come over here, you can see that we should have 8 ingots of steel and probably a bit of iron in there as well. We do. So what I want to make is some broad axe heads. I also want to make a thick tool rod, which I'm not entirely sure that I have a... Do I have a pattern for a thick tool rod? There's the tough rod pattern. I don't have a cast for one. Okay, that's no biggie. I can very quickly make a tough rod pattern and cast one in aluminium brass. So I'm going to make a cast for a tough rod. This will be the handle, because to make one of these battle axes you need those. Now I'm going to make my tough rod out of, I've got so much junk in here, iron. An iron tough rod, because all the handles of my tools at the minute are made out of iron. There is my iron tough rod. I also need a broad axe head, and my broad axe head, of course, is going to be steel. Now it takes an awful lot of steel to make this broad axe head, 8 ingots. Which is going to take a little bit of time, and there we go, a steel broad axe head, reinforced 2. Now I'm not actually going to make both of my... Put those in there just for a second. Both of the axe heads, because a broad axe takes 2 axe heads, a binding and a rod. So I'm not going to make the other broad axe head out of this, I'm actually going to make it out of stone. Now, even though I'm making the second axe head out of stone, overall, as long as I put this one in the left, it will be a steel broad axe. So it just saves me a little bit of steel. That's what I'm trying to say. Now that's a tool binding, that's a tough binding. I want to make a tough binding out of paper, because the paper, of course, gives you an extra modifier to put on this thing. Oh, it needs to go in there, does it? Can I make tough bindings out of paper? Can I not make a tough binding out of paper? I thought I could. I genuinely thought I could. But if I can't, I can't. It doesn't particularly matter, because I don't need many modifiers on this. There is a bench in here. But I really... Okay, now it has worked. A paper tough binding. It needed 4 pieces of paper, though it said its material cost 3. Okay, that's fine. Right, a battle axe. With a paper binding, a steel head, a stone head, and an iron rod. So you can say that this is a steel, repair material steel. It has durability 3. Effective durability pretty high. The attack is 3.5 hearts. The mining speed is 6. This one has an attack of 2 hearts. So, if I put it that way round, it's going to have exactly the same, except the material will be stone. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know it would do that. It'll still attack at 3.5 hearts. That makes it identical, apart from the repair material. Okay, I'm going to take 1 second out because I want to just test something. The thing that I want to test is an extra steel axe head. All in the name of science, you understand. So I shall be right back when I've just made up another 8 ingots of steel. Okay, so the steel is just melting down and I've just come back through my greenhouse and I've just noticed that all of my trees are mysteriously missing apart from 1 sapling. And I have absolutely no idea why, because I know that this tree farmer hasn't been on for a while. It looks like someone has been through and dastardly chopped down all my trees. So I've got no idea what's quite happened there. That is a bit strange. I just came back whilst the steel was melting to get a bit of wheat to breed up a few extra sheep. There we go. I've got a pink sheep? Is that just a baby red sheep? I didn't know that if you mixed a red and a white sheep, you got a pink sheep, but I bet that's vanilla Minecraft, isn't it? And I just didn't know. Right, do we have steel? We have another 8 ingots of steel, which is going to give us another battle axe. Head. Okay, I have no idea what my voice just did then, but it failed to say the word head. There we go, steel battle axe head. Right, let's just pop. So this one is now durability 1979 and 3.5 hearts of attack. Now if I replace this with this, it is 3374 and 4.5 hearts of attack. And mining speed 8 compared to 6. Well, since I've made up a full steel battle axe, I'm obviously going to make it a full steel battle axe. So there we go, there is my brand new battle axe. This one can be retired into the chest of retired tools. And I think this one should be pretty darned effective. Obviously I'm going to make up some moss in order to make it auto-repair. Is there anything that I can take down or out easily? Is there a mob about? Well, let's just check its speed at taking down a tree. Okay, I call that fast. And it should also be really, really good. Here's a mob I want to take out, a squid. At taking out mobs. Yep, that was pretty fast. That was certainly faster than my last axe. I've no idea if I'm hitting these because I cannot see what I'm doing. Did I get that? I think that I did. But I didn't pick up the inks in either way. Are there any mobs about? Come on, mobs. You are always there when I don't want you. I cannot see a single mob anywhere. Which is what we call typical. Seriously, where are they? Mobs, mobs, mobs. It is the middle of the night, guys. You should be out. It is time for your party. Okay, a pair of... zombie. So, zombie... Yes, that is pretty good. It's 3 hits. But one thing that you can do, just check behind me for creepers. Can they get out of there? They cannot. But if you hold down the right mouse button, it will draw back. If you let go, you jump forward, you get hunger, speed, and lots of other things. And knockback, and I've knocked him clean out of the water. I've still got a bit of it, actually. But that makes it 2 hits, so it can be really, really effective. So that's good. It's a lot better than any of my previous weapons, let's put it that way. So that will be it for this episode, guys. We are starting to find Mystcraft worlds, and we have an awesome new axe. So thank you very much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I do hope to see you once again next time. Thank you, and goodbye.